Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to EduTALK. EduTALK is a weekly virtual talk show created out of the need for a global learning community. And we focus on topics in education that directly impact Caribbean nations and diaspora nationals working across the globe. EduTALK features everybody across the education landscape, and they share their expertise on critical topics facing education today with a common goal of moving education forward and our students upward. Now, we are here by ourselves. Again, Dr. Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have some critical topics that normally we are faced with because of the thinking around us, the thoughts of people around us in education. And we want to share as best as possible our knowledge. So welcome everybody to EduTalk.
Yeah.
Dr. Barker and myself are here. We're gonna be talking about the idea of school and the journey that one student should have, instead of having this this feel of vision for academic journey. So we put in place also the cultural and spiritual journey of that student in the school. So Dr. Barker, we're gonna dive right in, because people know your voice already as an informed individual. I remember the last session we had was about the book that you published, and it's gonna be available. Is it next year, February? I think, or
No,
March.
it's actually available now. It's got
Available.
published early.
Oh,
So it's 24 chapters and it's been sold for $270. So it's not a small book. 724 pages.
oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. What's the title again?
A handbook of research
Handbook of.
on critical issues and global trends in international education. So it is a research book. So there are like 24 different authors and more than that, maybe about 30 authors with
Yeah.
24 chapters. And it's just focused on international education. So
yeah. Let me, I think I found it right here from our last session. This book right here. This is written by Dr. Barker and his colleagues. Yes. Let's zoom in a little bit. Right. So Dr. Barker, it's 24 chapters, you said, and it's very much on the research in international schools and
Is that a website webpage, Jan?
Yeah, it's the IGI web.
Refresh it, today.
Yeah,
Yesterday. It's a no yesterday.
Ah, okay. All right. And free preview, yes. So people go on this website. You can see it on your screen. IGI-global.com book.
Well, you can search for the name of the book. It should come up in
Yeah, that's a good idea. So if you
so if you scroll down, you can look at the chapters. As I say, 744 pages, so it's not a small book. Yeah. And I didn't realize. So you can actually see some of you can see the topics that are in the book. This one is around COVID, navigating the unknown, international school leadership and the transition through COVID-19. This one is this person I think is based in China. So he's doing a study about leadership again, but at the greater Asian region, Southeast Asian schools. Yeah. So teacher shortages, nice one. Global teacher shortages. And the second one, the number 4, looks at relationship between teacher employment and retention, which is a nice study. That one is coming across a number of schools, a number of countries as well. The next one is a really nice essay written by Dr. McTaggart. He's at Manchester University. Really nice paper, written in a very interesting style as well. So if you actually, one of them is international schools, you can say ethnic gap in teacher size. One of the things that you find is that in some countries, they pay local teachers different from international teachers, and that's causing issues in the school because obviously you both teach classes and, so
Yeah.
that's really a topical one. Then we're talking about African Americans in international education, why so few choose to teach abroad. The issue that you have here is, the challenges, because most people think of, the white British and American and so on working in schools. And then when you go as a Black person, sometimes they think it's still some challenges. So this is a paper by Dr. Brown. Dr. Huckle as well. Dr. Brown, I think, is at Bath University. So critical approaches to intercultural thinking, collaboration in teaching and learning. There's a range of topics, you can see.
I want
the range.
to feature, where is your topic? Because you wrote one of the chapters in there.
Yeah, I wrote one on faculty children navigating co-presence.
Yes, yes.
Navigating co-presence. And this is an interesting paper. It talks about the lived experiences of children who are the children of faculty in the same school. So if you click on the link, you can see a preview to the chapter. And so this is what it would look like inside of the book. Normally the preview is about 2 pages.
So
you can get a sense of what the chapter is about. And once you figure that out, then you're able to, then you can, if you're interested. So the idea, as I said, it is a research book. So what would happen? Researchers who are looking at certain ideas would then see the introduction and might think, I don't want to buy the whole book, if you notice. So because sometimes you're just researching and you see a source and you just want to read that source. So you can just buy that for $37. I mean, most of these things, you don't have to buy them, because if you're in a university, it may have bought access to the book anyway. So most people will maybe purchase access through university or has access because your university already is accessing these. So it is.
This is your wife who wrote the expert.
Yes. Yeah.
This is very good. This is very cool. And you have experience in Muscat, Oman.
Yeah.
President of the international school industry. This is very good. I would love to read this.
Well, I wanted to do a similar one based around the Jamaican context, but there's very little coming back from them in terms of information. And obviously, if you're not there, it's hard to get things going. So
it's very, very hard. You really have to get maybe a sabbatical or half a year to do some research in the region. We still talk about it. We're still gonna do something about it because it's not too late.
So this is a very big book.
It's really awesome. Very, very awesome writing. And the exposure to new research. That's what people need to gather. The
main thing is to collect the research and create an avenue, like a point where everyone has to go through that. And with international education, a book like this is really a key point. If you're researching, you're quite likely will want to see. You'll want to the range of topics, as you can see, it's quite likely the book will get cited quite a lot, because what would happen if someone's even working on one of the chapters, they would have to cite it as a chapter, but in the book edited by.
Right.
So having 24 chapters on a range of topics gives you great potential for being cited, which is quite good if you're building a profile.
It's very good. Very good. What I'm hoping for is schools like Columbia University in New York here, and even
they will have access.
CUNY and SUNY and so on, to get.
Well, many of those have picked it up already. The way the system works, is that the libraries would get the latest books because they can't be in a position, or someone will know of a paper. They're in a university, and then they reach out to their professor or to the library and say, can I have access to this book? So this will always come up in most university libraries, because what my publisher is able to do is get it on all the catalogs.
Yeah.
What the university may not have done is bought access, but they will have a connection to it. So as soon as a student is looking for the book, looking for an article, it comes up in their search, it will then tell the university, tell the child that they cannot, the student, that they cannot access it because the university hasn't, but they can notify their librarian.
Right.
And then the librarian would quite likely just purchase the book so that the students can have access to it. Because, you can't research without having the latest. And someone would say, well, what's the point? So that's what will happen. I'm just hoping that it's, if, we get through a number of universities, 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, yeah. And it will happen over time because it's very recent research. So
yeah. So you'll have a 5-year span before it maybe not necessarily will go off the wayside, but might not be as visited as other texts. I mean, I hope to have a number of people asking me already about when am I starting the next project,
Yeah.
So,
it's ongoing.
yeah, and it's only a 1-year project. I started in December last year, and it
I
took me
remember.
there.
I remember. That's one of the things I look onto is the continuation and the continuous spinning of the wheel of research or work itself in education, that you are as good as the latest thing that you have done. It never rests. It's not like you write a book and you put it down and you say, okay, that will hold me out for 10 years. But things
No, and
are moving. They're moving.
people will be expecting me to kick out another one soon.
Yeah, the next 2 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, in a year, maybe a year and a half, I don't know. I mean, I'm now more familiar with the process. It's a tough process,
I know.
really hard process, As I say, it's a 1 year, but it's a 1 year of work.
Yeah.
Because from the moment you come up with a proposal for the book, the next stage is, okay, we have a proposal. Do I have the right team of people? Then I recruit a team. Then you have to recruit what is called an editorial advisory board. These are professionals who are willing to give you some insights, help with some reviews. Then you put out a call for papers.
Yeah.
And from the start, the call for papers is just a roller coaster because you get lots of proposals, get call for proposals, sorry. Get the proposals, then you have to say, okay, good, develop the paper. And then you have to guide all the way through, and reviews and blind reviews and follow up on reviews, and people life is having challenges, but they want to get the review in. It's tough, but
how did you reach the span of so many people from Asia to Europe?
All across the world. It's really wide ranging. I think I have someone from every continent, certainly.
Yeah.
We have others, LinkedIn, Twitter, my social media network, my own personal networks.
Yeah.
People respond, people pass it on. I mean, yeah. I've interviewed people who you'd be surprised how that circle come around, but in the event of not revealing identities, I won't get into detail because you're not having permission to reveal any identity, but some interesting people came around through the interview, just through memorandum. Even when I was in my research paper, it's interesting. Put it out, people will pass on to people. I mean, I was at a conference last year. I was just talking to a lady at the conference during the break, just chatting. And I was mentioning that, I have this book out looking for chapters, because she was talking about it was an international education conference, trying to recruit chapter authors, right? While talking to her, she was like, once I explained she said, wait, I'm sure someone forwarded that to me already. And at the time, and this is one thing, she said she had seen it, she had passed it to her, I think her colleague or her boss or someone. And the person had said they're not going to submit because they don't know who the people are, like, who are we? I mean, that will change now somewhat. If someone sees me put one out, they will be kind of thinking, oh, he's a person who did that book. You know what I mean? So you earn your stripes. I have no issues with that.
Yeah.
And she kind of said she was going to submit one, but she never did. And I'm still in somewhat contact with her on LinkedIn, but she never did.
Oh,
People
okay.
busy, you know, people are busy.
Yeah, and they'll come around because they have even their own doctoral research or some ideas that they have on this. If you prompt them, then they will jump on it saying that, I could get this published. So I had this idea that I want to implement. So let me jump at it and do it now. Maybe now is the right time. And they have been putting it off for a long time. So it's good to have as they say, the iron hot, for people to say, okay, now is the time, because I've been putting it off for a long
Yeah.
time. And then finding one of the things I love about the book too is to have the diversity in terms of ethnicity and race.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just the topics, because you can do topics in the same region, but with same people and so on. But you have a wide range of nationalities and ethnicities
And
represented,
people that I haven't met.
and people you haven't met too. Yeah,
This is the beauty of it, right?
yeah.
So I think the only people in that book, there may be three authors in that book that I know personally.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true international effort, a true
Yeah,
blurring of boundary lines, is a true collaborative outcome that shows the power of the modern times, that you can transcend borders. I literally haven't met many of those people, just many, never. We just
yeah,
communicating through emails, and we're all achieving dreams together, right? Because most of
yeah,
these people, they get their work published, they're happy.
yeah,
And they're telling people that I published my work, and they're sharing it on social media.
yeah,
Then their work gets added to a database which confirms them as researchers. So there's a lot of positive. And you have stuff, you get your book for church published, you'll feel good.
yeah.
You know,
That's
feel
very.
good. You have your name in something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very good, very good. So we talk about research and the publication of the book, which is, as I said, congratulations already, Dr. Barker.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yourself. Yeah, this so we want to tie in. Let's tie in the spiritual aspect of education, because I'm sure you have been on a spiritual journey. Not religious. I want people to understand that this is not religious, because religious precepts have to do with an outward, like ritualistic celebration of oneself relating to a deity like God or Jesus in Christianity and Allah in the Islamic religion. And Hinduism has Brahma and Vishnu and
Many.
Shiva. Many. So when we talk about
Multi
spirituality,
poly poly
yeah, polyistic.
poly polytheistic, yeah.
Atheistic, yeah. So when we talk about spirituality, here with myself and Dr. Barker, we're talking about an internal journey of the individual being exposed to educational precepts, such as the content that you learn in reading, math, science, social studies,
Yeah.
philosophy, and so on. And it carries you on this journey to become somebody of use to yourself in society, and use to your family and the wider society that you find yourself in. So you can contribute to politics, you can contribute to religion, you can contribute to sociology, such as building social network
Yeah.
of people. So the education supposed to carry people on that journey, just like in terms of your book, that you have this. And I remember you talking about it too for a while, saying, I'm gonna reach out doing this book. I feel called to do it, like this energy that I have. The reflection of education for students is not just for academic growth, but the personal growth and the personal journey of this person to choose something that they will contribute to for the rest of their life. And this idea, Dr. Barker, is purpose. It's, what is my purpose in this lifetime? Is it,
Yeah.
make money, do whatever I want to do, be happy with myself, and at the end of the day, have I contributed enough to humanity? And then the idea of legacy too with it. But the established institutions of education, it in my view, is to help people, students of all different different ages and classes and gender, to carry them through this spiritual journey and cultural journey, so that at the back end of it, they can look back and say, hey, I'm happy I chose this journey. I have purpose because I chose this journey, and I can go out and make a difference in the world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the idea of a spiritual education. We hear not many systems, especially the national systems we're familiar with.
Yeah.
They don't really, those are not ideals, so to speak. They are more concerned with the content that is in the text, and less with maybe the content of one's character. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that is just a reality of education, that the idea of a spiritual one comes as almost an unconscious kind of non-intentional effect. The question is, though, whether education is the vehicle to deliver that, or should it be the church or some religious connection?
Yeah. They really, that's a good question. Because if you look at it too, it's where science or the idea of scientific research and so on, you can find a lot that people have to pull back from to find out about the morality of something. And where you mentioned character, the character of the individual, and our forefathers are even recently, like Martin Luther King addressed the idea of character, to look at the person's character, and other people too, like our own Marcus Garvey, look at education as a character building initiative.
Yeah.
But you have to, in the way that we see it now, we have to look outside of our systems of education, character building initiatives or experiences. And the experience should be a holistic one when it comes to, educational journey. Because I'm looking at education, and maybe we probably should have defined this with education is this journey of exposure and learning and experience, within the four walls of the school, if the school has walls. So you're saying it's based on the character of the individual, character development, which is it moral development, ethical values, and this idea of I'm not alone in the universe, so I shouldn't be selfish. What I should share.
It's
yes.
I'd say every country have a different interpretation of that, what it is to be spiritually healthy.
Yeah.
A lot of countries just have different definitions for that. Also a lot of countries prioritize these things differently.
Yeah.
In a competitive capitalistic world, these are weaknesses rather than strengths. Okay. While in maybe the more collective thinking Eastern, capital E for Eastern, there's a lot more on the collective. And for you to function as a collective, you have to have a kind of a higher sense of self, because you're giving of self in order to create something that is far more powerful, i.e. the collaborative advantage. So through other people, you work together to create the collaborative advantage, that which is not possible on your own, but certainly within the possibility range when more than one person do it.
Yeah.
So these are like really powerful things to come from an education system. For one, the interest in a Western setting is that how do you measure it? How do you know if what you're doing is working?
Yeah,
It's a big question.
A rubric to measure spiritual reflections in the classroom.
Yeah. You know the Western system, right? They believe that the only thing that counts is that which you can measure. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it works, right? They believe that the only thing you can count, you should count, is anything that you measure.
Yeah, that's very true. And what you cannot measure, you don't put it on anything. Nothing with content or rubric.
Yeah, but there's a spin to that. Is not everything that measures that counts can be measured.
Yeah, exactly. How do you
You know.
how do you measure somebody who is very altruistic? You see a student and you say, that student is very altruistic. Maybe that student could become, and like one of the representatives for UN, the United Nations
Yeah.
countries, but they don't use that to measure aptitude in that they would work for the United Nations or World Health Organization. They would say no. As you said, it's a weakness in the Western world, having the idea of
Competition.
the collective self is a weakness. It's me.
Yeah, and I mean, in the Western, working with someone to achieve something is seen as a less of a strength than people who are individualistic, go-getters, entrepreneurs. The Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk is it's kind of people.
Yeah. Interesting.
So from the eastern side, the collective is a more spiritually connected to them. The idea of working together to achieve.
Mhm.
It's just a different
Yeah.
mind frame.
Why I thought of this though, Barker, is when you look at the world how it is now with hunger, and we're trying to fight world hunger, or we're trying to look at like peace in general. If we go to the collective, then world hunger could be diminished. We might not see world hunger be gone from the earth totally because of human the capacity, right, for humans
Yeah.
to either go in all different directions. We have so many directions we can move into in terms of our growth or lack of growth. And sometimes it's basically our own doing for our own selves. But the collective, if we pull together, would it be that the ones who would have more, they would have less? And then maybe sometimes the ones who have less, if the ones who have more try to help, do you think they would have more still? Or they would have less and it will be like a pull down where, oh my God, I can't do this because every time I try to have something, I have to help all of these people around here. And so there's nothing building up for me because I cannot sustain the capacity to form a foundation, start building on this foundation, because every time I build up some wealth, maybe I have to spread it out. So
Yeah.
it seems like it's a weakness to have this idea of, okay, I need to help other people all the time. I need to give of myself all the time. Do you see
Well,
the irony?
yeah. I mean, just as the world is. The world is our life isn't black and white, it's nuanced. All
Yeah.
of us are different. No one is one thing. So I suppose that's a piece, right? How do you what does spirituality look like in a classroom of 35 kids?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the first thing that them have in their mind? Maybe not. Maybe yes.
Powerful
Is the
statement.
teacher equipped to help them, depending on whether they are not or is? These are the challenges.
It's powerful.
Just
That's,
the challenges.
yeah, really, really powerful questions, Dr. Barker. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. We'll leave it at that with the questions because we honestly, it's very difficult to find answers for those with a multifaceted system.
Yeah.
Hope that we ignite some form of thinking in this for everybody. We hope. How do we sustain spirituality in education? Can we measure it? And the challenges around that when we're looking at different cultures, different beliefs from different families. So thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Barker, as usual, I really appreciate your presence here. Get some rest, and we'll pick up again later on next week. Thank you,
No problem.
for joining us. This has been EduTalk. Really appreciate you and your involvement in this. Please visit our website at educationsolutionsinternational.org. That's educationsolutionsinternational.org or edusolutionsintl.org or edusolutionsintl.org. If you want to write to us at admin@educationsolutionsinternational.org. That's admin@educationsolutionsinternational.org. We will see you next week with another edition of EduTalk. What good, everybody? Talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.